Well, hello everybody, and welcome to today's coffee chat. Lots to talk about today. In fact, so much that I sat down to do this and realized I forgot my coffee, so I had to fix that. So be sure you have your coffee, and we're going to chat about several things. Now, one of the biggest things that we're going to chat about today is I have decided to start a Patreon page. And I know a lot of you are familiar with Patreon and you understand what it does, but let me explain. One of the issues that I have been having with YouTube, everybody's been having with YouTube, is they have changed yet again how they show and how they choose to show people videos. Some of you have been complaining for some time that you're not getting notifications. Guess what? It's true. YouTube isn't showing people my videos that have even asked to see it. They have changed the way they do things for the 1000th time. And I'll explain why here in a sec. But basically what has happened is they now take a small subset or subsample of my subscribers or people who have asked to get notifications, and they show them a new video. And if in a given amount of time YouTube doesn't feel like there were enough clicks or enough people watched it or they didn't watch it long enough, they kill the video. They stop showing it to anybody. And I haven't been able to figure out why. I mean, I used to put up a video and it would get several thousand views. Now it's maybe 200, 300. I mean, no one's seeing it. And so many of you have messaged me to say, what's going on? I'm not getting these notifications. It's a YouTube thing. Nothing I can do about it. Well, as a longtime YouTube user, I'm not seeing the channels I want to see either. It's very frustrating. But having said that, if there's anything I've learned about YouTube, if you just hang around for a few more months, they'll change it. And I expect them to, because a lot of YouTubers that have a lot of subscribers aren't happy either. But here's what I've decided to do to fix this whole problem. I have thought about setting up a Patreon page for a long time. But really, I was really focused on YouTube. I'm a big believer in you really have to focus on one platform. You cannot be all things to all people. That's why I don't do a bunch of social media. I don't have time. I don't have a team of people. Well, over the last probably 9 months, my revenue from YouTube has fallen from a high of $800, which it was about a year ago. It went down to about $400, $500 a month, which was great. Well, now it's about $100 a month, and it's stayed stuck at that $100 for now about 9 months. Well, these videos take a lot of time and effort to put together. And it's really frustrating when I put in that time and effort, and y'all don't even get to see it because YouTube won't show it to you. So I'm frustrated on many levels with that. So my decision to start a Patreon page had several different motivators. Number one is, yes, I need the financial support to be able to continue to produce this content for this channel and now my cooking channel both. I need those videos to be producing some sort of financial support. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is I want a way to ensure those of you who want to see these videos get to do so. And with a Patreon page, I don't have to worry about Patreon not notifying you. When I put something up, you get a notification. They don't have that system where they decide who they notify. You choose that, and if you choose to get those notifications, you get them. No question. So that would solve that problem. But one of the other main frustrations I've been having, especially this last year, is there's a lot of content I feel I can't share with you. Every time I post something that's a little bit off topic, off the retirement topic, that's like gardening or something about my pups or something about books, YouTube punishes me for that. They show that to no one. That video goes nowhere and basically is a complete waste of my time because no one sees it. So having a Patreon page will allow me to share the content I want to share above and beyond what I'm sharing on YouTube. It will allow me to show you those garden videos that I feel like I can't really show you. It will allow me to talk about my books. It will allow me to share videos of the puppers and the cats and everything that I'm doing. If I go somewhere, I can do that. I can actually take you along. And I just have felt so constrained by YouTube this past year. Now, I still absolutely am going to be putting up just as many videos on my regular channel and my cooking channel, no question. I still want to go that direction because I believe YouTube will iron itself out eventually. But in the meantime, I really want to embrace more varied content. And, I really want to have a more intimate, personal relationship with a lot of you who I feel like have become friends. Many of you all have followed since the beginning. You've been wonderful supporters. You leave fabulous comments, and I really appreciate that. That support has made the difference for me this year because there were several times I thought, for $100 a month, this really isn't worth it. It really isn't financially. So that has kept me going. That has kept me wanting to do things and wanting to share with you. And I feel like having this Patreon page will allow me to do that without those limitations. It will allow me to share much more personal things. And it also keeps me from having to build my own membership site. It keeps me from having to build out a huge website where I can offer you things. Because on Patreon, I can offer you downloadable declutter forms that you can use to declutter things. I'm really excited about that because I've wanted to do that forever, but didn't have a real functional way to do it without building all these things that I don't have the time or energy to do. And this will allow me to share those. I wanted to be able to share book releases. I have several books coming out this next year. Some client books, some of my own books that are fabulous. They're just fabulous. And I want to be able to share those covers with you, to share that process with you. I also have one book I'm going to be looking for an agent for to go traditional publishing, and I want to share that process with you. Several of you have asked to see what paintings I'm working on, what's going on and there's stuff going on in the painting side, but that's not something I can really share on YouTube. Having a place where I can share those personal things makes it easier for me to do so, but there's also things I don't want to share on a platform as public as YouTube. There are trolls, there are spammers, there are all kinds of things on YouTube, and I don't want to share some of that more personal stuff in that environment. While yes, someone could pay to be a supporter and still come over and troll me, it is highly unlikely someone's going to pay money to do that. So that reduces that spam and the WhatsApp crap that, pops up, or people wanting you to buy a financial program in the comments. That's just so annoying. And that's something that, while YouTube has improved that a lot, they're still struggling with it. And I find it very frustrating, and I'm sure you do too, to leave a comment and then have some spammer spam you. And so by having Patreon, you can go on, you can leave comments. You're not going to get spammers replying to you. You're not going to have to wonder if it's me or not. I mean, it will be me. And so that will make it much easier. And the way Patreon works is you pledge a specific amount a month for each level. And in return, you get certain things. So the way I have mine set up is on the base level, which is $5, you get to preview ahead of time and see all of the videos that I am putting up on my main YouTube channel. You don't have to worry about not getting notified. You do not have to look at ads. It's ad-free, so you don't have to endure ads, and you never have to miss a video. You will also get notified of any book releases I have. When they go out for pre-sale, you'll get those notifications. Any products I add, if I develop a product like puzzles or something fun with my paintings, you'll get notified of where to get that and before anyone else does. So all the levels get all of those things, but that is what you get at the $5 level. There's also a $10 level. And for the $10 level, you get everything in the $5 level, but you also get bonus videos. You get a minimum of 2 a month. I already have more than that up there, actually. But you get a minimum of 2 a month. And these bonus videos are going to be things that I don't share on YouTube. They're going to be things that are only shared on Patreon. There'll be behind the scenes videos. There'll be backstories. For example, one of them that you'll see when you get on there is one of the things I did on my cooking channel was an Alfredo sauce. And so I showed how to make the Alfredo sauce, and many of you saw that and were very kind. It was delicious. I had Alfredo for 2 days for every meal, which is not a good idea. There's a lot of cream in Alfredo. Don't do that. but it was very tasty. So one of the things that I wanted to do was explain how I learned to make Alfredo. It's really a good story. It's really a good story. But I didn't want that video on my cooking channel to turn into one of those, you know, like those blogs you see where you have the big long story and all you want is the recipe. So I went ahead and posted the recipe on my cooking channel, but on the Patreon side, I give that explanation of how I learned to make that Alfredo sauce in the first place, and it's a good story. So there'll be videos like that where I give more in-depth explanation about what I'm doing, and you'll get at least 2 of those a month. Now the third tier, which is a $20 level, gets a lot more. I'm really excited about this tier. You'll get a minimum of 3 videos a month. You will also get to watch the process of my books, developing my books, developing covers. You'll get to see the back side of that, which a lot of people never see. When I have a book that I put up for pre-sale or that goes on pre-sale, I will post the first chapter for my gold sponsors for free. So you can read that first chapter for free. And right now on the gold sponsor side, there is a book that I just finished recently. I helped a client finish. She's an excellent writer, by the way. I coached her. It is a book on grief. And it is honestly one of the best books I've worked on in 20 years. I love this book. She has such a poignant story. And it's really a good book. And so I have that cover up so you can see it. It's a beautiful book. It goes on sale October the 15th, but the first chapter is already up for gold sponsors to read. So that's one big perk of gold sponsors. You get that preview of the books. You get to read that first chapter for free before anybody else does. Something else that will be in the gold sponsor library is I am putting my declutter lists and checklists and those sorts of things on that level. So I will be adding forms you can download, you can save them to your computer, you can fill them out on the computer and save them, erase everything and start again. You can use them over and over and over as many times as you like, and I'll be developing that library and adding 1 or 2 every month at a minimum so you can go over there and use them at any time, and that is really a benefit. That is something I've been wanting to offer for so long, and this gives me a way to do it, and they'll always be available. Well, and one other benefit is that I don't have to have a separate channel for all these things. That was one of the things with the cooking channel. That is a big enough volume of need that I felt like it justified a separate channel. But things like my painting, my book stuff, my gardening, that doesn't justify its own channel, and that would be way too much work. And by combining all of those varied interests on one page on Patreon, I don't have to have a whole bunch of other channels. I would appreciate you going over to the Patreon page. The link is below in the description, and I'm going to be putting this link on all of my previous videos. But go over to the page and see what you think. And if you choose to sign up and be one of my initial Patreon patrons, just know that I really appreciate it.